Welcome to I Love My Baby Butt Part 2 of Ring to the Big Guns.
Right.
With Ziva, a parenting coach.
Right.
So, you know, the more mobile they become, many kids that slept really well for even 12 hours suddenly start waking up. Now, let me first explain why they wake up in the middle of the night. I'm not talking about the early morning.
Okay.
So, like, have you ever had the experience of studying for something, for a test, or having like a really big project due, and you wake up at night like practicing, or you wake up at night and like, oh my God, what am I, you know? So that's basically why the sleep is lighter at this age. They wake up at night and they practice, many of them, in the middle of the night, the movement. Like, I had parents call me and say, just a few months ago, a mom called me and said, I'm so worried about my daughter. We woke up and we saw on the monitor, she's 9.5 months, that she's standing in the crib with her eyes closed and walking around. Is she losing it? I mean, they were really, and I said, no, she's practicing. In her sleep, she's practicing now standing up, and she doesn't know yet how to go back down. So that's when she cries.
Right.
So if you see her up crying, you need to come back and just put her down.
Right.
If she's just whimpering in her sleep and you have a method that works, that you let him cry for a few minutes and he goes back to sleep, I wouldn't change it.
Yeah. Well, the
But-
other night he woke up at 9 p.m. and he was hysterically crying and he was sitting up. And I went and I picked him up and then he immediately just fell back to sleep on my shoulder. So that, I feel like, is an example. He probably was sitting up and he didn't know how to get back down.
Right. You said it yourself, that you know today the difference between the crying that is expressing anxiety and distress,
Yes.
and between the whimpering that is just, I got up and I can go back to sleep.
Totally. So, okay,
Yes.
so sleep I get, mobility, because
Yes.
he's moving around.
He's moving
all over
around.
the place.
And because he's moving around and getting to places that he didn't get to, you know, maybe 2 months ago, safety becomes a big issue. And you know, I don't believe in covering an entire house to accommodate a baby, but there are certain areas that it just makes sense not to have anything that is fragile. Like, if this is you created here a safe space with a safe floor, so it should all be safe. So anything that is above, that is within his reach, needs to be removed, because you can't, you know, he needs to be supervised all the time, but he will be very fast. He will be walking, he will be running. Yes. So I would just encourage you, you know, to look around the house from his height, and things that are within his reach, I would just remove.
Okay, like all the books on the coffee table.
Yes, especially books that are very heavy, because he will hurt himself.
When we leave, when we go to work, or when we're leaving with him his nanny, he doesn't cry or anything. That's not
Right, but she's been with him since he was born.
right. But
So-
even I'm trying to think if I left him with. I left him with my mom. Yeah, he knows my mom. I guess. I honestly think though that if Timmy and I walked out of the room right now, he wouldn't cry just hanging out with you either.
Right, but I've been here now for a while and he's made some connection. I think if you left now the house and wouldn't come back until nighttime, he would wake up every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because he will realize that I'm not somebody he knows intimately, and you're gone. But all the people that have been watching him until now are people he knows.
Yeah.
The one thing I would encourage you to do, which is important, is to always say goodbye when you leave, not just leave the house, and say hello when you come home.
Okay.
Because what happens, like in 2 months, he will be, as I said, you know, it's around this time that they start having some more strangers anxiety and separation anxiety, which is normal. It's not a problem. But what we want is to create safety, and we want him to know that everything is predictable.
Right.
So when mommy says goodbye, she's leaving to work.
Right.
But it's not like I saw mommy here and she smiled to me and now she's gone. So it's always important to say goodbye.
That's actually good to know, because Ophelia will leave the nanny and she'll say, I don't want to say goodbye.
Oh,
And
no,
I
no,
didn't
no.
even-
She
okay.
needs to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And even if
want more food, don't you?
this is so important, even if he cries when she leaves, let's say, then to say, you had so much fun with Ophelia today, you miss her now. So it's really important to start doing it now.
Okay.
And to, when you come home, to say hello.
Hello, okay.
Yes.
We're gonna be done.
Yeah,
Just say
Ziva, this
thank
was
you.
so helpful, honestly.
I'm glad.
Honestly. Do you think he's okay?
He's great. He's great. He's not just okay.
We'll definitely do this again.
Maybe we'll do it again when he's 1.
1 year old.
That's another big milestone.
Okay, 3 months.
Okay, what should they subscribe?
Yeah, well, they should check out zivarenan.com. And then subscribe to our YouTube channel.
What happens when they subscribe?
You guys get notified when we post new videos or go live. So check us out.
Peace in the streets?
Yeah.
Say it.
Peace in the streets.
Okay. Thank you, Ziva.
You're very
Yes, Eva.
welcome.